Hey everybody, my name is Sharon Quinn and I'm also known as the original Runway Diva, and you are watching Model Behavior. Class is officially in session. My guest lecturer today is a 25-year veteran in the fashion industry. Sumayah is an international fashion model whose clients include Chanel, Christian Dior, Givenchy, and Hugo Boss. She is also an accomplished journalist and a motivational speaker. Welcome to Model Behavior, Sumayah.
Thank
Hi,
you.
boo-boo. How you doing?
Good.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so you sent me your resume, and just like with all my friends who I've known for many, many years, you do a lot more than I know you for. So, I mean, you're an international model, you're a journalist, a TV host, you have degrees. So let's take it all the way back to the beginning.
Okay.
So how did all of this start for you?
Oh my gosh, I think models started many years ago back in Louisiana. I wanted to get into it. Betty Lynn Gramling, if you remember her, one of Miss Universe, Miss USA.
I do remember
Tennessee,
that name.
yes. She owned an agency, I believe it was Tennessee, and an agency in Japan wanted me to model, but my parents were completely against it. So they're like, you have to go to school, get your degree.
Yeah.
I have Caribbean parents,
Yeah,
so education is key.
Yeah.
And we kept in touch. I modeled for John Robert Powers in New Orleans. I continued to represent. I was the face of LSU fashion while I was at LSU, Louisiana State University, where I attended college, and I got my communications degree from there, and also French degree from LSU.
Beauty and brains.
So,
okay, right.
So once literally the day after graduation, I graduated on this day. Let's say I graduated on Friday. Saturday, I flew to New York. I was so happy and eager to get into modeling.
Oh, so you just went on your own
On my
accord.
own, because my parents wouldn't let me do it initially. So I went on my own the day after graduation.
So but you said something interesting when you talked about your progression. You said that you, all along while you were in school, you worked for, you were with John Robert Powers.
Yeah, I worked with John Robert Powers. They were based in New Orleans. So I'd go on weekends and do things. I still did modeling.
So they got you work?
Yeah, little things. Yeah, they did. And I got little jobs through LSU, like the malls for Origins. I remember one time what really made me want to just go, be a model was I did this thing for Origins in the mall in Baton Rouge, and they had Sumayah. I was like, oh, I like that.
Did you take a picture of that?
I still have the newspaper clipping.
Okay, you got to send me that.
Yes.
So continue.
And so I just I came to New York literally the day after graduation. I pursued modeling for 3 years. And it was very difficult because, I was, I think my complexion, my hair was much longer. It was big, my features. I was with Grace Del Marco. Remember Grace?
Yes,
Everybody was with Grace back then if she was black.
Well, not everybody. They weren't quite ready for me.
Oh, really?
Nah.
But it was like, I couldn't book any decent jobs. I would do, there was a hair magazine, Hair something. It was a hair magazine, a black hair magazine. Was it Hair Rules or Hair something? And then there was a couple other magazines. I used Sister to Sister magazine. I didn't book any decent jobs. Like every time I went, it was always a question of my ethnicity. And one day, 3 years into it, I told my mom, I'm going to go to Paris. And she goes, who do you know there? I said, I have 2 college degrees. I need to know if this is for me before I move on to my journalism, career. Because prior to that, I had interned with an ABC subsidiary station in the Virgin Islands. So I was a field reporter for Channel 8. So I covered St. Thomas, St. Croix, and St. John. Wow. And I gained a lot of experience there. So I said, before I move into that, let me try modeling one more time. So I just bought a plane ticket, flew to Paris, stayed in a hostel, dragging my bag everywhere. And I think Paris gave me the confidence that I need. I remember being in New York before I made that decision, and I went on a casting that they had requested me from Greece. And it was a brother and a sister asking, so the girl asked, what are you? I said, I'm black. And she was much lighter than I was. And I said, she goes, yeah, but black and what? I said, oh, my father's Indian. And she goes, what kind of Indian? I said, my father's East Indian. And she goes, what tribe? And at that point, I took my book and I walked away and I went to Paris literally the next week. So she kind of things happen in life for a reason.
Yes,
so you just got to embrace the bad and the good. But that was a good thing she did for me because I was tired of defining who I was. Either I was good for the job because it was to be in this Jamaican restaurant they opened. What's the name of it? It was like the biggest Jamaican restaurant they opened on 23rd Street. It's still there. We'd never had. It was to be in the menu. What's the one? It's on the west side.
You're not talking about you're not talking about Golden Crust.
The Grill.
The Grill.
The Grill.
Okay.
It was for
it
the
is
Grill.
not there anymore.
Oh, okay. So when she asked me that to be in a menu, I said, okay, it's time to move on. But when I went to Paris, it's like they saw me as exotic. You know, I worked for a few other houses, and it's not even coming to mind. And I worked for Italian designer, not Ferro. I can't think. I'm drawing a blank. But it's
okay.
like an Yves Saint Laurent, which like who loved black models. And it was really good. It was good for me because when I came back from Paris, I had so much confidence. I walked in a room and either you wanted me or you didn't. And I think something about me coming from the South was a little shyness and uncertainty. But when I came back from Paris, I knew what I wanted. I was confident and unafraid.
You know, it's funny because I've had Lou on here, I've had Magic on here. They've all said the same things, that they've gone over to Paris, and that's when things turned around for them.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me that you can't make that happen for you. Even now, in your own country, you got to go someplace else.
Because they saw you as black, which is what you are. We come in all shades and color and ethnicities. Black is a wide spectrum. And speaking of Magic, I'd signed with Clique, and Magic called me, and Magic said, celebrity? I call myself a celebrity. She goes, celebrity? Amy just went with Images, opening a fashion division. I think you need to go see her. I said, are you sure? She goes, yeah, go to Images and see Amy. And I went over to Images, and she was this Italian girl, and she had handled all these, you know, Linda Evangelista, all these big models from Elite. And she fell in love with me and booked me, and I was one of the top 6 girls from that agency. And she worked me my ass off.
So that's okay. I let a little cuss slip every now and then. It tastes
Yeah.
good in my mouth. So now, you started working frequently after that?
After that, it was like when I got with, when I went to Images with Amy, Amy just booked jobs. And she would say stuff to me like, I don't know what it is you do to clients, but go do your thing. I remember one particular incident. I always talk when I give speeches, when my motivational speech. I said, because every day we had to check in if there was any more castings for the day before I went home. And she said, you know what, there's nothing on your board. But Gap is looking for girls, but they only want blondes. But I don't know what the hell it is you do to clients, but just go do your stuff. And I walked over to 50, I think it was 63rd and Madison to see the client. I walked in, and she goes, holy shit, you're the only girl they booked. And I used to fly to Ohio twice a week for Gap. So,
Oh, you were shooting Gap ads?
I was flying there. I shot Gap ads later, but I was going to the corporate office to do the, you know, I was like a house model for Gap.
That's, wow.
But keep in mind, they were not looking for black models. They only requested blondes. And
So
that's,
what is it that you think you did to the client? What is that special? Do you become something else?
no, I think when you have an agent who really believes in you and what you can do, it makes a difference.
Yes, it does.
Because
Yes,
they
it
open
does.
opportunities for you. Because even with her, I remember Escada called the agency one day because I was one of the models for the Elements collection, and they said something about me not being rude. And Amy goes, any other person? I would say yes, but Sumayah, I won't accept that. I mean, she would fight for me. And you guys just
And
don't
that's
have
what
to
you,
do
that
so.
is so important. I had an agent like that too. Kathy Back, I love you, girl, wherever you are. I was on set, and they tried to change my rate in the middle of the shoot. And he tried to get me to, okay. I said, oh, no, hold on. And I dialed her up, turned around, I told her what was going on. She said, put him on the phone.
Isn't that
She
amazing?
put him on the phone. He walked away. He came back. I ain't have no more problems. Not anymore. And you always want an agent like that behind you. But those are few and far between, baby.
Yeah. I did Docker's campaign. I did Wella. I did hair boxes. I did catalogs, Sears, JCPenney. I mean, I worked my ass off with Amy. She was an amazing. And then I transitioned to Elite.
And that's who you are now,
and
right?
I'm still with Elite. And I have 2 amazing bookers, Susan and Freddie, which I love. They're like family because they've been through my, you know, they've been there for quite some time now.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Now, you've been in the business, because I counted, I did it on the calculator, about 25 years. So you've seen a lot.
Yeah.
Things were very different 25 years ago because I was there with you.
Yeah.
What are some of the changes you see for the better, and what are the ones you see that maybe take us a few steps backward?
I think for the better, I would say the fact that there's more opportunities for people of color, models of color, and then the sizes. It's not like you don't have to be skinny anymore to be a model. The rate changes. You know, 2 things. What I don't like about modeling now is like there's no longer. Back in the days, we were fashion models. You know, we did the runways. If there was a show, you knew exactly who you would see at the show. There were fashion models, there were runway models, there were show models, there were print girls. You know, you had your category. So you stayed in your lane. Now, you have to do everything. You can't just do fashion and print and catalog. You have to do a little bit of runway, a little bit of this. You got to do showroom, you have to do fit. A model does everything. You can't just do one. And back then we had supermodels to look up to. There's no supermodels.
I ain't have none.
And the girls who are in there are like temporary. They last for like a little bit and then they're gone. Where's Lana Ogilvie? I mean, she's a model who still models. Like those girls, like, you know, they resonated.
But aren't there a lot of them that are quietly still doing it?
Yes, she's still, a lot of them.
The over 50 girls are in now.
Yeah.
Even over 40s too. That if you can take care of yourself and look good as you go into that next period of your life, you can absolutely work. Because I just started working again.
Because that's what I like about the industry now. It's changed. I mean, I have 2 daughters, and throughout my whole pregnancy, I worked. I did Japanese Weekend. I did Gap campaigns, Gap catalogs, online. I mean, I did everything till the day I gave birth. You know, I did a lot. There was so much. I worked after pregnancy, so I never stopped working. And I think people look at modeling as a hobby. It's my livelihood.
No, it's not a hobby, and I run into it. So if you're not going to be serious about this, number one, you're about to waste a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because the upkeep and the overhead on modeling is ridiculous.
Exactly.
So, what are you doing it for if it doesn't bring you? If it doesn't bring you joy, why are you doing it? This is why I had stopped for a long time, because it wasn't fun for me anymore. When it starts to feel like work,
yeah,
it's time for me to go. So, but I don't want to. You know,
No,
I don't
no,
want to
let's
lose
have this
track
exchange.
because
It's a good thing.
child, it's a whole bunch of stuff on here. So now, talk to me about the journalism piece. That's what you went to school for,
That's what I
right?
went to school for, a communications major. I didn't want to focus on journalism because it was because I started as a theater major. So
I know you're not gonna sit here and tell me that.
I was a theater major. I did acting. I loved to act. When I first came to New York, my first gigs was like on camera. I did little things for Runaway Bride. I did quite a few little gigs. I just don't talk about it because when I came here, every model was an actor, and I had spent 3 years, like, you know,
You had to be
doing like
elite.
20 minutes of I Love You in every way possible on stage, like laughing, crying. And I'm like, oh, so where did you study and what did you study? And they're like, oh, I'm a model actor. So I never wanted to tell anyone that. And it was so funny, but it works for me for modeling. It works for me. I remember after I gave birth to my daughter, I was a presenter on stage for Smokey for the Jazz Fest in St. Lucia, and BET asked me to be the host with Leon for the pre-jazz show for the Jazz Festival.
With who?
Leon. You like
Oh
Leon?
my God! Oh God! Since his first movie, but I
Really?
digress. Go.
And for me, it's like, you know, I flew down there, I didn't get anything. I got there, I'm on set. I had just when they asked me to do it, I had just given birth at Mount Sinai. And there I was 2 weeks later filming. So no one knew I had a baby. From the time they saw me to the time I gave birth, no one knew. So I took her with me, but I had these nice, big, beautiful boobs. Girl. I was loving it. I was loving my boobs. I did everything. And theater came into play because they would give a script. I would get the script like the day of the shoot. Would be on location shooting. And I'm like, okay, and hi, and welcome to the beautiful island of St. Lucia. And they're like, nope, stop. I'm like, what? They're like, you can't read. We'll give you 10 minutes to look it over. And I'm like, no, I can't work like this. And then the director was like, you can do this. And in the meantime, Leon's doing voiceovers at night for most of his stuff. I'm like, He goes, I care about you. I know your ability. You can do this. But no one knew. I'm pretty good at memorizing, so that was easy for me. But I felt like it was, you know, they shouldn't have done that to me.
No,
but
they should have got you a little teleprompter camera. That's what they should have did.
Girl, I was on location. They had me trying to ride horses 2 weeks after giving birth. I was on a boat. I was like, no. That's not happening.
So now, after you did that, how did you progress, and why are you not doing that now?
Doing what?
Journalism.
So from modeling, I moved slowly into doing motivational speaking. So a young lady, Dr. Humes, asked me to be part of. She owns a company called Yafa, and they go into the public school system in New York, the Manhattan, the Bronx, and try to encourage kids. So she gets a lot of artists. So I come in from the model perspective. I'll come in dressed like, you know, just schlep, t-shirt, hat, And then I'll ask them things they like about me. And then I transform in front of them. Then I'll show them like book covers I've done, campaigns, magazines, different things. And to show them, it's, you know, anyone can be that. You just got to have the gift and the want, and you have to have your education because it's still a job. So that kind of like kept me in like the field of like, you know, speaking and, you know, journalism. And I did little things. I did a couple little shows here and there, but I've always wanted to have my own show. So I started my own show called Sumayah in the Lobby, where the conversation goes from one lobby to another. So
Like building lobbies?
build every lobby possible.
And how'd you come up with the concept for that?
Because, you know, people, I wanted it to be sort of kind of very, what we're doing right now.
Okay.
Very personal, like, you know, unpredictable, just have a conversation and let it take place wherever. And most people, I remember when I was talking to my friend Richard Dent, and Richard was like staying at a hotel, and I was like, what perfect place to interview you at the hotel? Like, you know, because that's where you're staying. So let's have a conversation in the lobby. Because every lobby, every hospital, everyone has a lobby.
And they're all different.
They're all different.
Yep.
Beautiful architectural lobbies, you know, it's nice. So it's
That's
a
a
great
good
place to have a
concept.
conversation. So we've been filming and, you know, putting little things out there. So it's
And where are you
still
trying to take that?
to the next level.
Which
I
is?
want it, it'll be a traveling show. You know, I want it to be nationwide, worldwide.
So you're going to do lobbies all over the world?
All over the world, girl.
I know that's right.
Yes.
All right. And you came up with this concept?
Yeah, it's my concept.
Now, when you, because I mean, it's hard enough just filming a show in studio. So how hard is it to do off-site?
You know, if you have a really amazing team, it's not that difficult. But it's just trying to find people who are committed for the cause and see your vision. And that's where there's usually a time lapse. And a lot of the interviews we've done, because it's current events, sometimes, you know, if you don't edit the stories right away and put it on, it becomes old very quickly.
Yeah.
It's not like a conversation like this that anyone can walk away from something with. It's a conversation that's like current events, you know. So sometimes it's like if we don't get on it, I'm working on a new team. I'd like an all-girl team. I love you guys. I love you men.
We all
but
girl today,
power. I
yeah.
think it's the year of the woman. So I want to make this happen by the end of the year. Just kind of get it out there.
Now, okay, see, having that brain fart. So you do one or two camera shoot?
We do one camera shoot. So the show has two different segments in it. So we have like like for instance, you know, Bun, because back in the days when we did shows,
Hats by Bun?
Hats by Bun.
Yes, yes.
Like Bun is an amazing designer that started from nothing, who sell on the street corners on 125th. 125th was not what it is now. Who has his store in
It was
Harlem?
better.
Who orders his stuff from like the best places out in Portugal, wherever he gets it from, and has a beautiful story. Like I had a story with him, a conversation with him. You know, that's a nice story. You know, and then we'll talk about current events. So that's one aspect for the show. Always interviewing someone that has made a difference in their life, whose product is amazing, whatever it is that they're doing. And then we have like a conversation, dialogue over a glass of wine. I mean, who doesn't like a glass of wine?
Oh yes, yes, yes.
You know, well, people can be free and talk about whatever they want to put on the table. You can throw any card on the table and have a discussion. And in that format, we bring everyone's represented in there. It's like a very nice, neat group of people.
Okay. Now let's talk about. You told me just right before we started that you are working on a line of headscarves.
Oh yes, yes, yes. So, you know, it's raining today and it's cold, and I did some hair thing with my hair, and I had to cover it up because it didn't come out quite like I hoped it would have come out. So I'm actually working on a scarf line. It's called Hayamas, and basically it's one piece, and this piece is interchangeable. So you can wear it like this. I can't take that off to demonstrate to you, but I can come back.
Her hair
and show
really
it to you.
doesn't look that bad.
You can wear it as a bandeau. It's a sarong. It's five
You said
different.
it's a sarong?
Yes, it doesn't look like it here, but I'll send it to you.
Okay, and how did you come up with this concept?
My mom's I'm Caribbean based, so in the Caribbean, like, you know, just going back to black people's slavery, like they always tie the hair. And madras, which is a big fabric that's used around the island, Africa, all over. You see a lot of madras fabrics. And my grandmother used to always give it to us, but in a square piece. So I've reformatted it. And the inner lining of this one, I don't know if you can see like some beige something here, that's silk. So to protect the hair when it's tied. And also it peaks, so as a scarf, So it's just a way of protecting the hair and being fashionable at the same time.
Now, can you take this piece that's hanging right here, and can you take that and like twist it, and you know how they do the knotted thing in the front? You can do that?
Yeah, that's the first way we have it in the book, is like this, because that's the way I wear it to bed, not like this. I wear it back and forth.
This is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because the thing in the front, well, okay, that always reminds me of slavery, I'm sorry.
But
some
I love it.
people rock it really well, but then there's some of y'all that don't need to wear that because y'all look like y'all just been cooking greens, okay?
Yeah.
It don't work for everybody.
It doesn't work for everybody. So we teach you like various ways you can wear it. And even like Spanish people, they wear it too, because Caribbean people like to put their hair in rollers and just go about their day. This is what you need to cover it with and look, stylish and fun while you're doing that.
And what does something like this go for?
We can't discuss prices right now.
Okay.
No, but affordable. One of the main things we want it to be is affordable. It's going to be made here in the U.S., eco-friendly. It has a flair, style of fashion, and it's a piece that everyone can use in the closet. And it's men, women, children. We have 2 sizes.
Thank you, because that was my next question.
2 sizes.
Because I don't think if that can go around you as a sarong, it probably won't go around me as a sarong. Yeah, I'm a little wider than you, Sumayah. Don't be looking at me like I'm not. I'm a little wider than you, and I don't think that sarong is going to cover up my
I'm going to send you one, and you're going to send a picture of you in it. I'm going to send one to you.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I thought about all that in creating it.
So so I'm going to just ask, how do you meet that challenge? If there's you and you this big, and then it's me, and I'm this big. That sarong is not going to go around me.
Many, many years ago, I was the house model, the fit model for Gabriela Zanzani, German designer. And one of her assistants, Yesenia, was learning to cut patterns. And I kind of adopted her as my daughter. I like calling her my daughter. And we're still very close. So I work with her because she knows she can see my vision and she knows what's important to me, because I don't have too much experience in that. Even I just know how to put the clothes on and wear it. Mm-hmm. But she's that other brain behind this. So I'm like, okay, I need it. And she's not skinny. She's a little chunky. So I'm like, we work together to create this. So I put all that into thought.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay,
so I got you covered.
Okay, because you said it was 2 sizes. All right.
Yeah, but the big size covers you. I'm telling you.
All right. We're going to see. I'm sure going to take a picture.
You're going to see.
Okay, all right. Now, when is this going to, when will these be available?
So I'm working with the small business, oh gosh, where am I drawing a blank? In Harlem. The samples are done, so we're trying to find a manufacturer here, because I don't want to have it done abroad. It's easy to have it done. So I want to have hands-on. And what I don't want to have is to create something that can be duplicated so easily.
Yeah.
So the bulk part of it, I want it to be done here, and then me on my team, we'd like to have the final touch done myself.
You can patent that? Have you patented?
No, because I don't even believe in patents, because all you have to do is cut it with a heart in it, and now it becomes yours. You've just taken my idea and you cut the edges, and it becomes a new product.
Don't say you don't believe in patents on camera.
Oh.
You believe in patents, you really do, and you're about to get one.
I'm about to get
Yes,
a
you are.
Yep.
Yeah, you are. Okay.
Thank you.
So now, so what's up next for you, Sumayah?
What's up next for me? Gosh, I have so many things in the pot boiling.
You got a book?
No.
25 years. I'm gonna tell anybody, you got double digits, you need to be working on your book. You talking about your life, write it down.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. I'll put that in my
Put that on your to-do list.
To-do list, yeah.
And make sure you write a dedication to me.
Yes.
Because I just gave you that idea.
She gave me that idea.
So what do you got? What are you working on next?
What I really want to do is to get, the main focus right now is to get In the Lobby up and going and to get this out, because this has been a brainchild of me for the past 5 years.
But you already have some episodes of In the Lobby.
Oh, yeah.
Out, right?
I mean, you can see some episodes on YouTube, but I just kind of blocked it a little bit. I haven't really put it out in the manner I'd like to, because I was talking to members of my team, so we're going to start putting a lot of it on YouTube, because there's a Sumayah in the Lobby YouTube channel, but I just chose not to make it public because it was supposed to be public like a year ago. And we had some little, production issues and little things that takes place when you work with a team and people have various ideas. And I don't like when if it's my brainchild, my idea, I think some part of it, the essence of it, I want that essence to come through, not someone else's who's editing. I mean, we have to think together.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
Yeah, that takes me back to the conversation we had in the dressing room.
Yeah.
That's how you control that piece. You learn how to do it yourself. Or as you were telling me, your daughter seems to be a bit of a whiz at this.
Yeah, my 12-year-old may be able to be my editor.
Yeah.
So actually, my girlfriend's launching a company, a nonprofit organization. Tracy, what is it? Oh, I'm so ashamed. Harlem Eats This, which is coming up next weekend. Eat Up, Harlem Eat Up. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to do some, I'm going to do some on-spot in the lobby interviews there. And so I'm going to
have been to that yet.
It's so much fun.
It's so expensive. Yes.
You know what? I volunteered.
I never know about the volunteer thing.
Girl, I was need to volunteer.
Please
I
do.
volunteered for about an hour.
Because I
they
like
couldn't
that.
find me after that.
Yeah, I've been wanting to go to that for since it started, actually.
It's a really, it's amazing. I think it's growing tremendously. And if anyone needs to like get the business out there, let it be known, that's a great venue to like just get it out there.
Okay, so we got like about 2 to 3 minutes left. So quickly, how do people find you on social media?
You can find me on Sumayah Sumayah on Facebook. You can find me Sumayah in the Lobby on Instagram. And
Twitter?
I have a Twitter, but I don't really tweet.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
But say it anyway.
Just get me on IG. And you can find me on, oh my goodness, Harlem's Wood. Harlem's Wood on Twitter.
We're almost out of time. So I'd like to thank my guest Sumayah for sharing her industry knowledge with us. Now, before I go, I'd like to just leave you with a few thoughts. I want you to, 1, remember that you can't change the game until you first learn the game. 2, always surround yourself with positive people and positive things. 3, do what you love and love what you do. And lastly, be who you are, but be who you are tastefully. Always have a little class about yourself. Now, don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest. And if you missed an episode of Model Behavior, now you can view the previous episodes on our YouTube channel. Just Google Model Behavior with Sharon Quinn, and all of the previous episodes will come up. Thanks for watching Model Behavior, and I'll see you guys next week. Class is officially dismissed. Bye, y'all.